expected to be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Donald Trump. Since 2018, Belichick has served on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. So, Shannon, do you think that he will accept the award?
Yeah, he should accept it. The thing is, people need to understand, Coach Belichick has nothing to do with the worst of President Trump. He's his friend. He was his friend before he became president. Now, maybe he knew he had all this inside of him, and if he ever got this amount of power, he would turn out to be the way what he is. But I don't know if anybody's ever turned down the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But if I'm
I don't think so. I can't find anybody.
Right.
Because who would?
That's the highest civilian honor you can receive. Mm-hmm. There's nothing the president thinks so much of you for what you've done and your contribution. Now, I don't know if being a football coach is a contribution to society, but the president deemed that it is. There are certain things he has. He has that ability to pardon. He has powers that the Constitution has bestowed upon him, and he's using them for Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick wrote a letter on his behalf in 2016, Skip, during the campaign, congratulating him, said, you know, and I believe, I believe that Coach Belichick wrote this letter to a friend. It wasn't political. He was his friend before Donald Trump became President Trump, or President-elect Trump, or now President Trump. Coach Belichick knew him. Skip, it's hard. It's hard when you've been friends with someone. I don't want to say, I don't know how long they've been friends, but let's just say they've been friends 20, 30 years. It's hard to just walk away from somebody after 30 years of friendship, because for the most part, maybe you've never seen that side that they're displaying currently. But I'm not turning that medal down. Hell no, I'm gonna be right there. The only part that I'm mad about that I'm not gonna be able to get a ceremony to have him put it around my neck. They got to do it virtually now. They got to send it to him. But well, no, I take that back. They're probably going. Coach Belichick has time now, so they might have a small ceremony at the White House.
They will have one, because I remind everybody, the day after the riots last week, so we're on Wednesday. So on Thursday, Gary Player and Annika Sorenstam from golf, who both have been Trump supporters, Annika campaigned for him. They both went to the White House the day after the riots to receive their medals of freedom. Now,
I don't know if I'm going to do that. Because that's tone deaf. You just saw what transpired, and then you're going to go when someone had basically an assault on your government, trying to overthrow. So, Skip, you know, I'm going to lay low like, hey, just go ahead and send me mine. I ain't going to come get it. Just send it to me.
Okay, so I'm going to read the quick quote. This is from Bill Belichick in a recent news conference after President Trump had read the letter that he wrote in support of him through this past presidential campaign. Belichick said, "Our friendship goes back many years, to your point." I don't know how many, but many. I would think that would go way back because of Belichick's relationship and time with the Jets.
With the Giants. Skip, remember, he was with the Giants back in the 80s.
I meant with the Giants and then
the Jets, okay.
He went on to say, "Anybody who spends more than 5 minutes with me knows I'm not a political person," said Bill Belichick. "My comments are not politically motivated. I have a friendship with Donald." Well, that would echo the emotions, I would assume, of his owner, Robert Kraft, who is a very, very close friend of Donald Trump's, and has made the point that when Robert Kraft's wife, Myra, died, remember, Bob Kraft said that Donald Trump called me every day for the next year just to see how I was feeling, how I was holding up.
And probably, Skip, guys that have been friends with President Trump don't refer to him as president. They still call him by his first name. So that lets you know the level that they're on, that you can call the president by his first name and leave prayers off.
Okay. Now, to the flashpoint of this, you said, hey, it's the Medal of Freedom. Who can turn it down? Well, this is just my 2 cents from a distance. If I were in those shoes of Bill Belichick, even if I had been a friend, as Tom Brady has been a golf partner of Trump's in the distant past.
Surprised he didn't get Tom one.
Well, we got 10 days, right? I would turn this down just because of the disgrace of what happened in those riots.
But had the riots not taken place?
Fine.
Okay.
Just such a disgrace. And the point yesterday was, as this was this news became public.
Right.
It was an obvious PR ploy to me where
Trying to get
President
the heat up
Trump's
off it.
just trying to look down the list. Well, let's see who's left on the list of people who supported me, who are famous Americans in the world of sports,
Right.
the feel-good world of sports.
Right.
Bill Belichick. Oh, I'll give him one. Maybe people like me more because I gave it to Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah.
The GOAT coach, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, meanwhile, yesterday in our nation's capital, there are hundreds of police officers near the Capitol in the afternoon in a funeral procession for Brian, let me get his name right, Sicknick,
Yeah.
who was the U.S. Capitol officer who was killed among the rioters inside the Capitol building.
You know what I hadn't heard, Skip? I hadn't heard one time Blue Lives Matter. Have you heard that, Skip? Now, you remember when the black BLM, that was trending. Blue
Okay.
Lives Matter.
Okay.
I thought they mattered.
So the point is, they're having a funeral procession,
Yes.
and he's sitting up in the Oval Office handing out a Medal of Freedom to Bill Belichick.
Skip.
Well, it just doesn't.
It's time, Skip, Skip, he's
just doesn't
tone
ring
deaf.
true.
He's
It
tone
just-
deaf. He doesn't get, what, Skip, the heat is, the look, is ramping up. Impeachment. Now, VP Pence can either, Amendment 25, invoke that, or the House has said we're going to impeach him.
Okay.
Now, the heat, and now you're starting to get some Republicans like, yeah, we got to nip this in the bud.
Yep.
And it's not so much that they're going to be able to do anything. Skip, they don't want this to occur again. So you know what we're going to do? We want to inhibit you from ever running for public office again.
Okay.
Because he's still President Trump. And we don't want to revisit this in 2024. And so I think that impeachment, but plus, he was wrong for this. I agree with you, Skip. The timing of this is that probably should make Coach Belichick feel a little queasy. Like, man, is he really giving me this because he believes I've done good in society?
Yep.
Or is he giving me this to try to get the heat off him so it's something else to talk about as opposed to what transpired last Wednesday? So I totally get. But Skip, like you said, I mean, I was looking, and Steve and I, my chief producer, like, we couldn't find where someone getting out. Maybe it happened behind the scenes, and he gave it back behind the scenes, but publicly, I haven't seen where someone refused to accept the presidential
Okay,
Medal of
but
Freedom.
in the history of this country, have we ever had a presidential situation like this one? We have not. Nothing close to this. So to me, this is now a toxic association.
Yeah.
As we've spoken about here in the last few days, it seems like every Trump loyalist has now parted ways, backed off, right?
But Skip, the thing that we know about Coach Belichick don't care what the people think about him. There are not a whole lot of people. They understand that he's a historically great coach, but he's a cheater.
I mean, that's true, too. There's that whole
Yes.
issue going on. And furthermore, the timing of this for Bill Belichick, Brady left, and you just missed the playoffs.
Well, maybe he tried to steal some of Brady's shine. Brady didn't play
All
out.
right. And I'm sure that would operate in Bill's mind because Bill has a huge ego, as all the great coaches do. And it's a bruised ego right now because they took it on the chin this year, and it was a long, hard year for Belichick and his ego.
Gary Player's son said he shouldn't accept the award.
Right.
He said it's tone deaf.
Yep.
The PGA just took away the championship that
took
was going to
away
be held there in 2022.
From Trump International
Yeah,
there in the,
Bedminster.
yes.
In Jersey, the one in-
It's right there in the New York area.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, Skip, like I said, it's just hard. I'm trying to think, Skip, if I'd been friends with someone for 30 years, to be honest, one of my best friends, I've been friends with him since college, Bucket.
Yep.
And Keith Burns, who I've been friends with since he got to Denver.
Yep.
If they had gone to the lengths in which this president has gone to, yes, Skip, I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about it.
My friendship is contingency.
Okay.
You just don't get no absolute. No, it's contingent.
I am with you on that because think about Belichick's profession. As he goes into the offseason, they have a ton of cap room to go try to seek out and sign free agents. Well, could this be a reason that a free agent would say no to New England? Oh, Coach Belichick is a Trump guy. Like, you don't think that